So you own a STIHL MS 261. Hey guys, Josh here with Carl's Mower and Saw, and today we're going to quickly do an overview of what you need to know to get the most out of this saw, the things that you might miss, the things that maybe as you were checking it out in the store you did not really absorb. That happens like when I go shopping and I get told all this data, I lose it. So quick, let's go through this video. Let's look at some of the things you need to know to get the most out of it. Let's start with safety. This is a chainsaw. These things are awesome, amazing tools, but there's also some danger involved, right? We know this. So really, one of the most overlooked things is chaps. Every day, we have people come in with chainsaws and they don't own a pair of chaps. And I understand they're expensive. They're going to be $100 plus or minus. That's a lot of money for something that I'm going to wear a couple hours a year. But it's also really, really cheap when you consider one trip to the ER with a gash in your leg. I don't want to get gory and bloody and all that, but chaps, they've saved my legs before, and I've ran a chainsaw a fair number of hours. It was just like an oh crap, stupid, dumb mistake. Thank goodness for chaps. Safety glasses, we have flying debris, we got sawdust in the air, and I really don't want to be chainsawing blind. So safety glasses. And honestly, check out a helmet, something that's going to protect our ears, our head from potential falling limbs if I'm dropping trees. And then again, better protection on the face. And then last but not least, a lot of people want to run gloves when they are running a chainsaw, along with flip-flops. No, not flip-flops. Heavy boots. Don't be going out and running chainsaw in flip-flops. So get the proper safety gear. If you haven't stepped up to that stuff, spend the money, drop a couple $100 and protect yourself. Fuel. Let's talk about fuel. This is a 2-cycle machine. It is going to require mixed fuel. And there's 2 ways we can do that. One is buying STIHL HP Ultra and mixing it with ethanol-free fuel. That's always the best, is to run ethanol-free fuel. And if I'm doing a lot of work, this is what I'm going to run. If I'm going out all day cutting firewood on a Saturday, I'm going to run my HP Ultra. But when I know that my chainsaw is going into hibernation, when it's going to be sitting several months, it's springtime and I'm too busy with yard work or whatever else, I'm going to store it with Moto Mix. I can run it with Moto Mix all the time, and ultimately, it's the best. But I understand the expense. So HP Ultra or Moto Mix. Where's that going to go? That's going to go right here. Okay, this is my fuel tank. I got these flip lids. I flip up, I give it a half turn, and out it comes. And I'm going to put my fuel in there. And then we've got one other cap hiding right up here in the front. Again, a half a turn, and that is where my bar oil goes. I don't care what you buy, if you buy a gallon or if you buy a quart. I do care that you run bar oil and that you run a good bar oil. So whether it's the STIHL Platinum or the STIHL Woodcutter or potentially another brand of high quality bar oil, definitely stick with bar oil. We've got a chain that's spinning at really high rates of speed. It needs lubrication. There is friction going on. Every time that you fill the fuel, fill the bar oil. Okay? That's kind of the rule of thumb. The bar oil should never be empty when you go to fill your fuel tank. If it is, either you forgot to top it off last time or you got something going on that should probably be checked out. Okay, this side. Here's kind of where some of the working stuff happens. I've got my bar nuts, 17 millimeter, and these bar nuts, as you know, or maybe you don't know, they're captive. They're part of this cover. They will not fall off the cover. This is nice. I don't lose bar nuts. Right in the middle of those bar nuts is my chain tensioning screw. Let me tighten these up a little bit so the bar doesn't fall off and the chain off of its sprocket. As you use a chainsaw, this chain is going to stretch. That's excessive stretch. It's not going to stretch that much, but it's going to loosen up and it's going to start hanging a little bit from the bottom of the bar. That's bad news. That means a lot of wear on the bar out here on the tip. It also increases your chance of that chain actually jumping off. And that's a little scary when a chain jumps off a saw. All of a sudden, bang, it's dangling right down below you. So Keep that chain tension set properly. In some of our other videos, we do go over how to tension a chain properly. Maybe just stop by that video and check it out. Let's get these bar nuts back to tight. And we're going to quickly look at the air filter. I'm going to put the scabbard back on so I don't cut myself. Right here on the top, 1, 2, 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. And I found if you put the brake on, it usually gives you a little bit more freedom to remove the cover. And under that cover, I've got my air filter, my spark plug, kind of the whole top end workings of the machine. It is good to keep this clean, to keep it blown off from debris, to wash this air filter. STIHL recommends to clean this air filter with their degreaser. They have a green bottle of spray degreaser. Spray it on, rinse it off, and then let it dry for the day. Okay, this is going to hold water for a while, moisture for a while. I really don't want to suck moisture into the engine. Okay, so air filter simply, let's do that again, simply screws off, kind of a quarter turn, and off it comes. It's a beautiful rubber gasket around it to seal it up tightly to really eliminate dirt debris from entering the cylinder, causing long-term damage. If you look right here, see that orange piece right there? That's our winter-summer shutter. Where we live in the Pacific Northwest, rarely is this used, but maybe you're up in another part of the world where you get a lot more cold temperature. And right now, on this side, is considered summer because it's keeping the heat from the engine from getting to the carburetor. But if I were to flip it over, I open the window and I allow the engine heat to get to the carburetor, to the intake, to prevent icing. Okay, so that simply slides out and slides in. Here's the negative. If you put it on winter mode and you forget to put it back to summer, you can roast your saw. You can do some serious damage. If you have it on summer mode and your carburetor ices up or freezes up, you may experience some bad running and stop you in the middle of your job. But you figure out what you did wrong, you let it thaw out, bam, back to work. So just keep that in mind. If you use that, I get it, but be aware. Spark plug right here on the top. When you go to take this spark plug boot off on a STIHL chainsaw, really honestly any new tool, gently remove that, kind of a back and forth shaking it. I've seen too many people just grab a hold of it, rip it, and all of a sudden I got the spark plug boot in my hand. Yeah, that just costs money and downtime, right? So remove that just gently. And then right here is my compression release. And that is open through the top cover. You see that hole right there? Push that compression release. That's going to make this saw an easier pulling chainsaw. I think you can probably hear that. Just easier upon startup. Let me put this back together and let's look at the starting procedure of this saw. I do not have gas and oil in this guy right now. I'm sorry. I wasn't going to fire it up and make all kinds of noise with it. Okay, here's my starting. Squeeze the trigger. Push all the way down on this master control lever. Unlike most STIHL chainsaws, this is only a 3-position throttle. It's not the choke, start, run, off. It is a start, a run, and then an off that returns to run. So squeeze this, put the brake on. I always want the brake on when I'm starting the chainsaw. And you can either go down on the ground, put your foot through here, put your knee on here, or do the leg lock position. Advantage of those ways is I control the saw. I see a lot of saws started with a drop start, and it's easy, right? You feel it a little less on your shoulders, but ultimately I don't have control of this saw, and that's when accidents are going to happen. Hey, if that's the way you do it, I'm not going to change your habits. I get it, but the proper way, something like this or something like this. Okay? So I'm going to pull this. Usually it's 3 or 4 times, and it's going to pop as soon as it starts. Hit the trigger, it's going to drop up to the run position. Let it warm up for 15-20 seconds. Usually that's when you're getting all the rest of your safety stuff together, right? You maybe didn't have your helmet on yet, but you had your chaps on. It's warming up. Take the brake off, go to work. All right, good fuel, good bar oil. Keep an eye on my air filter. We know about the winter-summer shutter. We know that when we take the spark plug boot off, we gently take it off. We kind of shake it off of there. We know about the compression release. It makes it easier to pull. It does automatically shut off or pop off as soon as the saw starts. We know about the bar nuts and the chain tensioning. There is a sprocket under here that over time can wear and will wear, so keep an eye on that. Replace the sprocket bar and chain at the proper intervals. Run it hard, have fun, love your STIHL MS 261 that you picked up at your local dealer. Thanks for stopping in. We look forward to seeing you all soon.
Hey, this is Josh from Carl's Mower and Saw. Thanks for watching our videos. We're proud of the fact that we've been serving you with the best in outdoor power equipment since 1990. We're glad that you had an opportunity to sit down, watch our videos, learn something about an exciting new product that we have, something that interests you for your property, or really how to use your equipment to the best of its ability. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube. We're excited to share more information with you. See you soon.